Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit! Do you know what the odds are of mutations to produce the most rudimentary?
All right, I'm getting fucking bored. Darth, Matt Dillahunty challenged you to call AXP. He says you're willing and challenged to do so. Are you going to step up? Or are you going to be the little bitch that you always are? Because I feel like you always got a little
Why
bitch.
are you, hold on a second. Why are you talking to me that way?
Because you're a little fucking bitch, Darth. Suck it.
Yep.
Suck it, motherfucker.
Okay.
Suck it. Fuck you.
Are you
Suck
J
it.
Mike?
Suck it, bitch. Oh,
Are
you don't
you
recognize my
J-Mike?
voice. Oh my God, that hurts my feelings so badly. I fucking
Are
trolled
you
you. You fucking
J-Mike?
recognize me. Fuck you,
He's got
fucking
animal issues.
cocksucker.
Well, since you don't want to be civil and you're demonstrating you're mentally ill, we're going to gag you.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. Just so you know that Matt specifically called you out and said you're welcome to call into AXP because he wants a conversation with you. And if you don't call in, I'm going to conclude that you're the little bitch that you look like. Actually,
Why should
I've
he
already
care?
concluded.
Why should he care though?
Now,
I wanted to say a few things.
the last I heard, I was banned. I heard out of the mouth of Matt Dillahunty. Now, what's going to happen here is I know the game that they play down at the Atheist Church in Austin. They control their microphones, okay? And they will ramrod any discussion down any rabbit trail. So if he wants to talk with me, it's going to be on a stream where there is a neutral moderator, okay? A strictly neutral moderator, okay? Because we're not going to play this little game where he controls the mute button, okay?
Sure. Back to evolution. What I was saying, I didn't mean when it held
All
up.
right.
When I said it held up, I didn't mean
Let's
it
get
was
back.
a
Let's
political.
get back to this. Hold on. Let's get back to this, okay?
Later that same evening.
Hey, Parakeet, you there?
Yeah, how's it going?
Well, we have a little bit of good news. We got a report from crazy J Mike that I heard from him. I haven't heard elsewhere that I was invited to call the Atheist Experience. But you see, I'm not such a fool knowing how Matt Dillahunty treats people who call in. Okay, so he's not going to allow for a mono vigorous debate. Okay, so if he wants to talk with me, it's going to have to be on a stream where there is a strictly mutually agreed upon, ruthlessly neutral moderator. Okay, because I know what they do with their mute buttons.
Sounds fair.
Right? Yeah, because I don't trust him. He even has a call-in show called The Hang Up. Gee, I wonder why it's called that. Okay, I've already had an experience calling atheists on Talk Heathens, and every single time I got called in, they abused their position. I've called other atheist shows and they abuse their position. Okay, so good. I guess Matt Dillahunty has changed his tune and wants to talk with me. Good. We can have it on a neutral venue. Okay, because I don't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Well, I'm sure his invitation is completely above board, and he'll be fine with that, right?
Well, you think that he's going to agree to that?
Oh yeah, I'm sure he wasn't planning some sort of scumbag move. He wasn't doing that.
No, I'm talking about. What they do is they verbally manhandle you because they control the microphones. They control the mute button. Okay, I've seen how he deals with people. Okay, if Matt Dillahunty really wants to talk with me, why doesn't he show up here? He knows where to find me. Oh, that's right. He won't be able to control the mute button. How brave of him to invite me to a venue where he has complete control of the microphone and the mute button. How brave of him. How many of you here think that Matt Dillahunty, okay, sincerely wants to talk with me without his hammer of a mute button? Okay? Anybody thinks he wants to do that? I'll tell you what, Matt Dillahunty, okay? You come onto Discord, we can chat for an hour and a half here, and then we can chat again for an hour and a half on your show, if you really want to talk with me. Okay? We can do both. Can't we, Parakeet?
Yeah, that'd be good.
I've seen what they've done with biblical apologists that call in. I see how they're treated. on the various atheist Church of Austin. I know the little games that they play and how they railroad the conversation. They do not allow it to be a level playing field. Well, I sure hope J. Mike takes his medications. He was really unhinged earlier. Unhinged.
What was he up to?
Well, first of all, recently, over the last week or so, he's become obsessed with me. Okay.
I heard one day he came in and someone said he wanted to talk with you, but right then I had to go, so I missed it.
Well, recently, the first couple of times I talked with him, maybe a year or so ago, he quickly became unhinged. All right. And he had to be muted and booted because his conduct was so bad. He recently showed up, and I thought I'd give him another chance, but he immediately went into machine gun talking, over talking, and not really responding specifically to my points. And it finally got to the point where I told him that if he didn't stop, I wouldn't be talking with him again. And he's been and this happened a number of days ago, and ever since he's been stalking and trolling and mocking and just I mean, even 14-year-olds don't behave this way. So there's something wrong with him.
Well, I think this is a pattern of behavior we see with atheists where they even have convinced themselves that they're rational in their God denial, but then they're confronted with lines of reasoning that show that they're irrational, but rather than conceding that that's correct and becoming Christians, instead they just go into full troll mode, right?
Yeah. So what we can do is Matt Dillabloviator can show up here for an hour and a half, chit chat, okay, or on a YouTube stream, okay, that I'll stream myself, and then I can show up on his platform for an hour and a half. Does anybody think he'll agree to that? What do you think, Boris? Do you think he'll agree to that?
To show up here?
No, he goes, oh, Matt wants to talk with you. Okay, good. You want to talk with me? Good. What we'll do is, to make it fair, you show up here for an hour and a half on my turf, either here or on a stream, and then I'll show up on yours for an hour and a half, guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do that.
Gee, I wonder why. Because then he can't control the microphone and the mute. He can't railroad the conversation.
Why don't you go first then? Go to his turf.
Because I don't trust him.
And he doesn't trust you.
Okay, no. What reason would there not to be to trust me?
I don't know. That's just his. I don't think he would trust you to do that.
What? That I wouldn't show up?
That's why.
Well, hold on a second. If I can challenge PhDs, PhD atheists, okay, regularly, all right, why would I be afraid to show up on his venue? You see, what I don't want to happen is I'm not going to be, how shall I put this, backstabbed again. Okay, right? I have gone on to any number of atheist chat shows where they've lied about that I'll be treated fairly and not in an uneven way, and they've lied about it to me repeatedly.
Yeah, didn't Canadian Catholic recently do a Charlie Brown trick on you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, he did.
Pulled the football away again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's a reasonable offer. Okay, an hour and a half on my venue, then I will guarantee I will show up for an hour and a half on his venue.
Yeah, well, I don't think Matt trusts you, so that's why he wouldn't do it.
Well, he doesn't trust me to show up a second time? Really? Who are you kidding?
No, I don't think he does. But that's just my opinion, of course.
Why? What reason could somebody have to say that I wouldn't show up? Look, this is a guy who was invited by Modern Day Debate. Modern Day Debate invited him to come on, him and me, and he turned it down.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Oh, and you also didn't know that I have been previously banned from calling him, and he made a public statement that I was banned from calling in.
No, I know. I heard that.
Okay. So the issue is, why wouldn't I want to show up?
I don't know.
Does Matt Dillahunty intellectually, as an atheist defender, does he have any greater prowess than these atheist PhDs? If I could show up to talk to them, why would I show up to talk to him? But you see, I have a record of how he deals with people. Now, maybe he doesn't like the way I deal with people, so I'm making a level playing field. Okay, you show up in my venue for an hour and a half, and I'll show up in your venue for an hour and a half, guaranteed.
I don't think
this is how these clowns at the Atheist Church of Austin behave. They strictly control the microphones. When they start to get in trouble, they ramrod the conversation down some semi-related rabbit trail. Okay, and if you don't go like the lamb to the slaughter, they accuse you of being unruly and they mute you or get rid of you.
Well, you made a statement earlier. I'm kind of curious that, if there would be is there a neutral moderator that you could pick?
I'm sure we could find one, but I think it would be better.
Not neutral in their beliefs.
An hour or an hour and a half on my turf, and then on his turf. Because you want to know something? I don't trust him showing up to be on my turf, because I know he has a track record of refusing to debate certain people that he has no excuse not to debate, like James White. Okay, he's come up with ridiculous excuses.
Yo, Darth, that's a bit of a trap though, because you're saying let's make an even playing field. He'll come on, speak to you, and then you'll probably have an argument, because that's what's going to happen, because you're both very active personalities. And then you'll say, well, he didn't conduct himself like an honest interlocutor, just like Tom.
No, if I make a commitment, if he shows up for an hour and a half, okay, on my venue, I will guarantee you I will show up in an hour and a half on his venue.
We all know, atheist and Christian alike, that won't work. It needs to be a neutral, really. Like, it needs to be a moderator. That was already offered to him. So did J Mike come out and say that Matt Dillahunty would even want to debate?
J Mike is a mental case. Okay, what you're not aware of is this guy who looks like he would be the next best candidate for a new Geico caveman commercial has been behaving. He's a grown man, and he's behaving like a 14-year-old troll, stalking me, heckling me, harassing me. Okay, wherever venue he can find me. Okay, is this somebody I'm supposed to take seriously who's behaving worse than an ADD 14-year-old?
No, I don't think so, actually. I do not believe, if J Mike told you that Matt D wants to debate, that's nonsense. I just don't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, no. He may concede to call in, but then he controls all the strings. I don't trust him. I do not trust him. And I've had experience with the people at the Atheist Church of Austin. Okay, what they do is when they get into trouble, then they play the argumentative game. They play the definitional game. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? Okay, they're well practiced at this. These are tactics of evasion. By the way, did you get that, Tom Rabbit?